Good day everyone. We are the Group 7 and today we are going to discuss communicating, motivating, leading, and controlling. Let's start. Whether you work at the top of an organization, your career toolkit must include the abilities to achieve positive impact through communication and collaboration. They are foundations for social capital, which is a capacity to get things done with the support and help of others. Project managers need social capital, and it's all about communication, connections, and relationships. Communication is the process of sending and receiving symbols with meanings attached. It helps people build and use social capital, exchange and share information, lead and inspire followers, and influence one another's attitudes, behaviors, and understandings. Communication is the glue that binds together the four functions of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Next, getting things to go right requires alertness to issues of effectiveness and efficiency in the ways we communicate. In effective communication, the intended meaning is fully understood by the receiver. Efficient communication occurs at a minimum cost. Additionally, communication is not only about sharing information or being heard. It's about the intent of one party to influence or motivate the other in a desired way. Persuasive communication presents a message in a manner that causes the other person to support it. On the other hand, credible communication earns trust, respect, integrity in the eyes of the others. Moreover, credibility is gained through expertise. When you are knowledgeable about the issue in question or have a successful track record in dealing with similar issues in the past. Credibility is also gained through relationships, when you work well and get along with the people to be persuaded. For example, having a good relationship with your boss can add credibility to your request. This is social capital again. It is always easier to get someone to do what you want if that person likes you. Moving on, in the diagram shown in the slide, you can see there is a sender and a receiver. The sender is the encoder or the ones who send a message through a channel, which is the pathway of communication. On the other hand, receiver is the one who decodes the meaning. Furthermore, the types of communication channels include written channels and spoken channels. First, for written channels, it is paper or electronic. They are most acceptable for simple messages that are easy to convey and for those that require quick and extensive dissemination to a wide audience. They are also useful when it is important to document information or directives. But it's important to remember that these messages are largely impersonal and one-way interactions with only limited opportunity for feedback from recipients. Second, spoken channels are face-to-face or electronic. They work best for complex and difficult messages where immediate feedback to the sender is valuable. They are more personal and more likely to be perceived by the receiver as supportive or inspirational. Moving on, we now go to the richness of communication channels. Using the diagram as presented on the slide, on the left side of the spectrum is the low richest channel, wherein it is impersonal, one-way, fast, and does not require much effort from the sender. On the other hand, the right side of the spectrum involves personal, two-way communication, wherein it is meticulous and requires immediate feedback for both the sender and receiver to come up with mutual understanding. Next, we now go to the communication barriers. Noise is anything that interferes with the effectiveness of communication. Moreover, common sources of noise include information filtering, poor choice of channels, poor written or oral expression, failure to recognize nonverbal signals, and physical distractions. So, how noise affects in communication process? Using the diagram shown in the slide, noise affects the communication process through the channel. Some causes of noise include semantic problems, absence of feedback, improper channels, physical distractions, status effects, and cultural differences. As a result, both the sender and the receiver might require more time and effort than usual to come up with mutual understanding since noise hinders the said process. Now, we go on to discuss some causes of noise. First is information filtering. Information filtering is the deliberate distortion of information in order to make it appear more favorable to the recipient. It is management enemy number one, as once you become a boss, you will never hear the unadulterated truth again. The higher level receives biased and inaccurate information from below and makes poor decisions as a result. Thus, the end result is the same whether the reason is career protection, fear of retaliation for bringing bad news, unwillingness to identify personal mistakes, or just a general desire to please. Now that we are done with verbal communication, let's now go discuss nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication occurs through gestures and body language. Throughout the pandemic, we have relied on online interaction in recent times. However, one of the shortcomings of voicemail, text, and other forms of electronic communication is the absence of gestures and other nonverbal cues. It is difficult for things like clickable emoticons to compensate for their absences. Moving on, sometimes our body language talks even when we are silent. And when we do speak, our bodies may say things that our words do not. A mixed message occurs when words communicate one message while actions, body language, or appearance communicate another. Next, as we grow up and further broaden our horizons, cross-cultural communication necessitates a high level of sensitivity, awareness, and the ability to quickly learn local rights and wrongs. The most difficult situation is when you don't speak the local language or when one or both of the people trying to communicate are not fluent in a common second language. Furthermore, advertisements are notorious for getting lost in translation. Additionally, ethnocentrism is the tendency to consider one's own culture superior to all others. It is a major impediment to effective cross-cultural communication. It hinders communication in at least three major ways. First, it may result in poor listening. Second, it may cause someone to address or speak to others in ways that alienate them. Third, it may lead to the use of inappropriate stereotypes. Now, we move on to the communication in the workplace. Communication transparency involves openly sharing honest and complete information about the organization and workplace affairs. Open book management is where managers provide employees with essential financial information about their companies. It is a good way to defeat office politics. Additionally, In a workplace, employees and employers must use active listening to better communicate. Active listening helps the source of a message say what he or she really means. The following are the guidelines for active listening. First, listen for message content. Second, listen for feelings. Third, respond to feelings. Fourth, note all the cues. And lastly, paraphrase and restate. Moving on, as discussed earlier, feedback is important to complete the two-way communication system. Feedback is the process of telling someone else how you feel about something they did or said. It occurs in both normal working relationships and more formal performance review sessions. Giving feedback is an essential skill, especially for managers who must give feedback to others on a regular basis. When feedback is delivered poorly, it can be threatening to the recipient and cause resentment. Feedback can also be evaluative, interpretative, or descriptive. As a manager, here are the guidelines for giving better feedback. Number 1. Give feedback directly and with real feelings. Number 2. Make sure that the feedback is specific rather than general. Number 3. Give feedback at a time when the receiver seems most willing or able to accept it. Number 4. Make sure that the feedback is valid. Lastly, give feedback in small doses. On the other hand, as an employee, here are the guidelines for handling criticism. First is to do not get mad or cry. Next, do not be defensive or deny things. Third is to not blame the others. Number 4 is to listen actively to the constructive criticism. Number 5 is to control your emotions. Number 6, try not to take it personally. Lastly, process the feedback you receive and respond graciously.
For motivating, let us describe what motivating is. Motivation accounts for the level, direction, and persistence of effort expended at work. For example, a highly motivated person works hard at a job, while an unmotivated person does not. A manager's most important responsibility is to create conditions where people feel consistently inspired to work hard. Individual needs and motivation. Hierarchy of needs theory. Abraham Maslow's theory of human needs is an important foundation in the history of management thought. The lower order needs in his hierarchy include physiological, safety, and social concerns, while higher order needs include esteem and self-actualization concerns. Lower order needs focus on desires for physical and social well-being. Higher order needs focus on desires for psychological development and growth. Maslow used two principles to describe how these needs affect human behavior. The deficit principle provides that a satisfied need no longer motivates behavior. People are expected to act in ways that satisfy deprived needs, that is, needs for which there is a deficit. The progression principle states that the need at one level is not activated until the next lower level need in the hierarchy is already satisfied. ERG theory. One of the most promising efforts to build on Maslow's work is the ERG theory proposed by Clayton Alderfer. This theory collapses Maslow's 5 needs categories into 3: Existence needs are desires for sociological and material well-being. Relatedness needs are desires for satisfying interpersonal relationships. And growth needs are desires for continued psychological growth and development. Two-factor theory. Frederick Herzberg developed the two-factor theory of motivation from a pattern discovered in almost 4,000 interviews. When asked what they dislike about their jobs, respondents talked mostly about issues related directly to the nature of the work itself. Herzberg called these satisfier factors or motivator factors. When asked what they like, respondents talked more about the actual work environment issues. Herzberg called this hygiene factors. Acquired needs theory. David McClellan and his colleagues developed another approach to studying human needs because each need can be linked with a distinct set of work preferences. He encourages managers to understand these needs in themselves and others and create responsive work environments. The need for achievement is the desire to do something better or more efficiently, to solve problems, or to master complex tasks. Need for power is the desire to control other people, to influence their behavior, or to be responsible for them. People with a high need for power are motivated to behave in ways that impact other people and events. The need for affiliation is establishing and maintaining friendly and warm relationships. People with a high need for affiliation seek companionship, social approval, and satisfying interpersonal relationships. Process theories of motivation. Equity and social comparison. The figure below shows how the equity dynamic works. According to equity theory, people compare their outcomes to input ratio to the outcomes to input ratios of others. Outcomes are what an individual receives from work, including pay, benefits, job security, advancement opportunities, autonomy, interesting work experiences, and anything else the employee values. Equity dynamics. Over-reward inequity occurs when individuals perceive that they are receiving more than what is fair. That is, the outcomes to input ratio is greater than that of a referent other. While such perceptions do occur, it is much more common for individuals to experience under-reward inequity. The perception here is of receiving less than what is deserved compared to someone else. Expectancy theory. Victor Vroom's expectancy theory of motivation asks, what determines people's willingness to work hard at organizational critical tasks? The answer is that motivation depends on the relationships between three expectancy factors depicted in the figure below, and describes expectancy as a person's belief that working hard will achieve a desired level of task performance. Instrumentality is a person's belief that rewards and other work-related outcomes will follow successful performance. Valence is the value a person assigns to the possible rewards and other work-related outcomes. The basic premise of Edwin Locke's goal-setting theory is that task goals can be highly motivating if they are properly set and well-managed. Goals give people direction in their work. They clarify the performance expectations in supervisory relationships between co-workers and across organizational subunits. They establish a frame of reference for task feedback. Goals also set a foundation for behavioral self-management. Closely related to both the expectancy and goal-setting approaches to motivation is self-efficacy theory, also referred to as social learning theory. Based on the work of psychologist Albert Bandura, self-efficacy refers to a person's belief that she or he is capable of performing a specific task. You can think of self-efficacy using confidence, competence, and ability. From a manager's perspective, the major point is that anything done to boost employees' self-efficacy will likely pay off with increased motivation. Reinforcement theory. The basic premise of reinforcement theory is based on one E.L. Thorndike called the law of effect. It states that behavior that results in a pleasant outcome is likely to be repeated. Behavior that results in an unpleasant outcome is not likely to be repeated. Reinforcement strategies. Positive reinforcement strengthens or increases the frequency of desirable behavior. It does so by making a pleasant consequence contingent on its occurrence. For example, a manager compliments an employee on his or her creativity in making a helpful comment during a staff meeting. Negative reinforcement also strengthens or increases the frequency of desirable behavior, but it does so by making the avoidance of an unpleasant consequence contingent on its occurrence. For example, a manager who has been nagging a worker daily about tardiness stops nagging when the individual shows up on time for work. Under positive reinforcement are terms. One way to put them into action is through a process known as shaping. This creates a new behavior by the positive reinforcement of successive approximations. Continuous reinforcement administers a reward each time a desired or approximated behavior occurs. Intermittent reinforcement rewards behavior only periodically. Motivation and job design. Job simplification standardizes work procedures and employs people in well-defined and highly specialized tasks. Job rotation gives workers more variety by periodically shifting them between jobs. Also, job enlargement increases task variety by combining into one job two or more tasks that were previously assigned to separate workers. It is sometimes called horizontal loading, which means making a job bigger by allowing the worker to do tasks from earlier and later stages in the workflow. The job characteristics model developed by Hackman and Oldham is shown in the figure below. It focuses attention on the presence or absence of 5 core job characteristics. First, skill variety. The degree to which a job requires various activities to carry out the work and involves using several different skills and talents. Second, task identity. The degree to which the job requires completing a whole and identifiable piece of work, which involves doing a job from beginning to end with a visible outcome. Third, task significance. The degree to which the job substantially impacts the lives or work of other people elsewhere in the organization or the external environment. Fourth, autonomy. The degree to which the job gives the individual freedom, independence, and discretion in scheduling work and choosing procedures for carrying it out. And fifth, feedback from the job itself. The degree to which work activities required by the job result in the individual obtaining direct and clear information on his or her job performance.
Now we will discuss what teams are and how they fit into organizations. A team is a collection of people who regularly interact to pursue common goals. Teamwork is the process of people working interdependently to accomplish common goals. We also have interdependence. Interdependence is how employees depend on other team members to work effectively. It is a fundamental concept in team dynamics and plays a crucial role in the success and effectiveness of teams in various settings, including businesses, sports, education, and more. Here are the roles managers play in teams and teamwork. We have the team leader, team member, network facilitator, and coach or developer. Being in a team also has its pros and cons. Let's talk about the pros first. One is that performance gains through synergy occur when the combined efforts of a group individuals or components are more productive, efficient, or effective than the sum of their action or those components working independently. Synergy is a central concept in teamwork, business, and various other fields, and it can lead to significant improvements in performance. Second is more resources for problem solving that includes diverse perspectives, brainstorming, research, collaboration, data analysis, critical thinking, time management, experimentation, mentorship, adaptability, structured approaches, and continuous learning to enhance problem solving capabilities. Third is improve creativity and innovation, which arise from fostering curiosity, embracing diverse perspectives, encouraging risk taking, nurturing a culture of experimentation, and providing resources for ideation and implementation. The fourth is improve decision making quality by gathering data, considering alternatives, involving diverse perspectives, assessing risk, and aligning choices with goals to make informed, effective decisions that yield better outcomes. Fifth is more significant member commitment to task by clarifying goals, emphasizing individual contributions, providing autonomy, offering feedback, recognizing achievements, and fostering a sense of ownership, purpose, and shared responsibility within the team. Sixth is increased member motivation through clear goals, recognition, skill development, autonomy, meaningful work, communication, rewards, and positive team culture, fostering a sense of purpose and enthusiasm for task. Lastly is increased need satisfaction of members by promoting autonomy, competence, and relatedness within the team. Empower members, provide growth opportunities, and nurture positive relationships to fulfill their intrinsic needs. Before proceeding with the cons, let's discuss synergy first. Synergy is the creation of a whole more significant than the sum of its parts. Synergy in teams is the collaborative phenomenon where team members work together to achieve results that surpass the sum of their efforts. It often leads to enhanced creativity, efficiency, and overall performance. Synergy can be achieved through effective communication, diverse skill sets, shared goals, and a supportive team culture. And now we have the teamwork cons. First is conflict and disagreement. When people with different personalities, perspectives, and work styles collaborate, disputes and controversies can arise. These conflicts may slow down progress and hinder productivity. Next is the freeloaders or social loafing. In some team settings, some individuals may not contribute their fair share of effort, relying on their teammates to pick up the slack. This phenomenon is known as social loafing and can lead to resentment among team members. Third is difficulties in coordination. Coordinating the efforts of multiple team members can be challenging, especially when team members have conflicting schedules or work remotely. Poor coordination can lead to missed deadlines and misunderstandings. Fourth is unequal work distribution. Teamwork can sometimes result in an uneven distribution of work with some members taking on more tasks and responsibilities than others. It can lead to burnout and frustration among those who feel overburdened. Fifth is the communication issues. Effective communication is crucial in teamwork, but miscommunication can occur, leading to misunderstandings, errors, and conflicts. Sixth, we depend on others. Individuals may become overly dependent on their teammates in a team, leading to a lack of self reliance and developing essential skills. Lastly, the accountability challenges. It can be challenging to hold individuals accountable in a team settings, especially when it comes or when it's unclear who is responsible for a specific task or when the team members are hesitant to confront their colleagues about their performance issues. After the pros and cons of teamwork, we also have the 7 deadly sins of meetings, where people arrive late, leave early, and don't take things seriously. To address these issues, consider making meetings more purposeful, enforcing time discipline, setting clear agendas, and fostering a culture of respect for meeting commitments. Additionally, seek feedback to improve meeting effectiveness continually. Second, the meeting is too long, sometimes twice as long as necessary, due to poor planning, lack of agenda, tangential discussions, and ineffective time management, impacting productivity and engagement. Third, people don't stay on topic. They stray and are easily distracted. Effective facilitation, clear agendas, and active participation help maintain focus and productivity. Fourth, the discussion lacks candor. People, people are unwilling to tell the truth. Lack of honesty in meetings stem from fear, hierarchy, or conflict avoidance. Encourage open dialogue, trust building, psychological safety, and constructive feedback to foster truthful and productive discussions. Fifth, the correct information isn't available, so decisions are postponed. To overcome this, improve data collection, pre-meeting research, and information sharing, ensuring informed and timely decision making. Sixth, nothing happens when the meeting is over. No one puts decisions into action. It occurs without apparent responsibility, accountability, or follow up mechanism. Assign action items, deadlines, and a monitoring process to ensure findings translate into action effectively. Lastly, things never improve. The same mistakes are made meeting after meeting. It indicates a lack of learning and adaptation. Implement post meeting reviews, document lessons, and create action plans to break the cycle and drive improvement. We have organizations as networks of groups. A formal group is an officially recognized collective that the organizations support, while an informal group is unofficial. It emerged from relationships and shared interest among members. So, what are the current trends in the use of teams? A committee is designated to work on a particular task continuously. A committee established to address a specific ongoing job or issue typically operates with a long-term focus and is responsible for its continuous management and resolution. This committee can be either permanent or temporary, depending on the nature and duration of the assigned task. Next, we have the project team or task force. A project team or task force is convened for a specific purpose and disbands when its task is completed. This approach allows organizations to allocate resources efficiently and assemble specialized teams as needed for different initiatives. A cross-functional team operates with members from different functional units of an organization. These teams are formed to work collaboratively on specific projects or initiatives that require input, expertise, and skills from various parts of the organization. A cross-functional team aims to leverage its members' different perspectives and knowledge to solve complex problems and make informed decisions and drive innovation. This approach promotes a holistic view of organizational challenges and encourage effective communication and cooperation among functional units. Self-managing teams are responsible for making decisions regarding work, tasks, and processes without direct supervision. These teams are designed to operate with a high degree of independence and are often associated with principles of empowerment and employee autonomy. Here are the key characteristics and benefits of self-managing teams. First, members are held collectively accountable for performance results. Unlike traditional hierarchy structures where individual accountability is more common, self-managing teams emphasize that all members share in the outcomes and performance of the group. Second, members have discretion in distributing tasks within the team. This discretion aligns with the team's autonomy and collective accountability principles. Third, members have discretion in scheduling work within the team. This autonomy allows team members to efficiently coordinate and manage their tasks and timelines. Fourth, members can perform more than one job on the team. This approach is often associated with cross-functional teams or teams that require a high level of adaptability and versatility. Fifth, members train one another to develop multiple job skills. This approach fosters cross-functional expertise and enhances the team's adaptability and resilience. Sixth, members evaluate one another's performance contributions. This approach promotes accountability, transparency, and continuous improvement within the group. Lastly, members are responsible for the total quality of team products. The shared responsibility for quality is a crucial characteristic of such teams and contributes to their effectiveness. Here are self-managing work teams' organizational and management implications. Virtual teams collaborate on tasks or projects from different geographic locations, often relying on technology and communication tools to connect and coordinate their efforts. These teams have become increasingly common in today's globalized and digitally connected world. Here are the guidelines for virtual teamwork. Selecting team members with high initiative and self-starting capabilities is crucial for the success of many types of teams, especially those that involve a degree of autonomy and self-management. Selecting team members with positive attitudes can lead to better teamwork, collaboration, and more enjoyable work environment, which can enhance overall team performance and satisfaction. Selecting team members known for their dedication to meeting team goals can significantly contribute to team success, productivity, and overall effectiveness. It fosters a culture of accountability and mutual support within the group. Starting with social messaging that promotes personal connections sets a positive tone for the team and helps members build relationships beyond their work tasks. It can improve communication, collaboration, and a more enjoyable team dynamic. By assigning clear goals and roles, you enable team members to work with focus and purpose, reducing confusion and enhancing overall team efficiency, even when working independently or remotely. Regular feedback sessions and a culture of feedback can lead to better team dynamics, increased collaboration, and continuous growth, ultimately contributing to improved team effectiveness. By consistently providing feedback and recognition for team accomplishments, you motivate and inspire team members and reinforce a culture of excellence and achievement. Team building is a sequence of activities to analyze a team and make changes to improve its performance. Team building is an ongoing process that requires commitment, patience, and adaptability. It aims to create a positive and productive team culture while addressing specific challenges that may hinder performance. Here are the characteristics of high performance teams. First, clear and elevating goals. Examples of clear and elevating goals include launching of groundbreaking product, significantly reducing carbon emissions, or becoming a recognized leader in a particular industry. Such purposes inspire individuals and teams to reach for excellence and make meaningful difference. Second, task-driven, results-oriented structure. A task-driven, results-oriented design is commonly found in organizations that value efficiency, productivity, and ability to meet specific objectives. It promotes a sense of accountability among team members and enables organizations to adapt to changing market conditions while staying focused on achieving desired outcomes. Third, competent, hardworking members. Fostering a culture that attracts, retains, and supports capable, hardworking team members can be strategic advantage for organizations seeking to achieve their objectives and maintain a competitive edge. Fourth, a collaborative culture. Creating and nurturing a collaborative culture requires leadership commitment, clear communication, and ongoing efforts to reinforce the values of teamwork and cooperation. Individuals and teams thrive in such cultures, and organizations are better equipped to achieve their goals and stay competitive. Fifth, high standards for excellence. High standards of excellence are essential for individual success and the overall success and reputation of organizations and teams. They contribute to a culture of achievement, innovation, and customer satisfaction, ultimately driving long-term success and sustainability. Sixth, external support and recognition. Whether for individuals, organizations, or teams, external support and credit can be instrumental in achieving goals, building trust, and sustaining success. Actively seeking and leveraging such support and recognition is a strategic approach to growth and advancement. Lastly is a robust and moral leadership. Strong principled leadership profoundly impacts organizations, teams, and individuals. It fosters a culture of trust, accountability, and ethical behavior, ultimately leading to sustainable success and positive societal contributions. Such leaders inspire others to follow their lead and uphold the highest standards of integrity and ethics. How do teams work? An effective team achieves high levels of task performance, membership satisfaction, and future visibility. An effective team balances these three dimensions, ensuring it reaches its immediate objectives and nurtures a positive and sustainable work environment. This holistic approach to team effectiveness fosters long-term success, member satisfaction, and a solid organizational presence in the future. An open systems model of team effectiveness views a team as a dynamic entity interacting with its external environment while striving to achieve its goals and objectives. This model draws inspirations from systems theory and emphasizes the interconnectedness of a team with its surroundings. Here are the critical components of an open systems model of team effectiveness. Team inputs. Team members, the individuals who make up the team, each contributing their skills, knowledge, and personalities. Resources and setting, the material, financial, and human resources available to the team. The broader organizational environment within which the group operates, including policies, culture, and structure. Task. The specific goals, objectives, and responsibilities assigned to the team. Team process. Communication. The exchange of information, ideas, and feedback among team members. Coordination, the organization and synchronization of team activities to achieve objectives. Decision making, the process of making choices and setting priorities within the team. Conflict resolution, the ability to address conflicts and disagreements constructively. Problem solving, the team's approach to identifying and solving challenges and obstacles. Leadership, how leadership is exercised within the team, including roles and responsibilities. Team effectiveness, task performance, the extent to which the team achieves its goals and delivers results. Member satisfaction, the level of contentment and motivation among team members. Innovation, the generation of new ideas, processes, or solutions. The feedback loop is the information about the team's outputs and performance is fed back into the system, influencing future inputs and processes. Here is the equation for team effectiveness. Team effectiveness equals quality of inputs plus process gains minus process losses. Team development typically goes through several stages as the group forms, matures, and achieves its goals. These stages were introduced by Bruce Tuckman in 1965 and are commonly called Tuckman's stages of team development. Here are the 5 steps. First is the forming stage. This is where team members come together and get to know one another. They are often polite and cautious, testing the waters as they define their roles and objectives. The second is the storming stage, where the team begins to collaborate. Differences in opinions, personalities, and approaches may lead to conflicts and disagreement. This is a critical phase where team members challenge ideas and establish their positions within the group. Third is the norming stage, where the team starts to resolve conflicts, establish norms and rules, and develop a sense of cohesion. Team members appreciate each other's strength and work together more smoothly. Next is the performing stage, where the team is highly functional with clear roles, effective communication, and a strong focus on achieving its goals. Team members trust one another and work collaboratively to accomplish tasks. Lastly, the adjourning stage completes the teamworks, and members disband or move on to other projects. As the team members say goodbye, there may be a sense of a completion and loss. Here are the criteria for assessing the maturity of a team. Norms and cohesiveness. A norm is a behavioral expectation, rule, or standard to be followed by team members. In contrast, cohesiveness is the degree to which members are attracted to and motivated to remain part of a team. How to build a positive team norms. Act as a positive role model, reinforce desired behaviors with rewards, control results through performance reviews and regular feedback, train and orient new members to adopt desired behaviors. Recruit and select new members who exhibit desired behaviors, hold regular meetings to discuss progress and ways of improving, use team decision-making methods to reach an agreement. Indicates how members adopt norms that encourage shared commitments to moral behavior, creating and maintaining a positive ethical climate fosters trust, integrity, and shared responsibility within the team. It helps team members make ethical choices and prioritize moral behavior, even in complex and challenging situations. This shows how cohesiveness and norms influence teams' performance. How to increase team cohesiveness? The first is to create agreement on team goals. The second is to reward team rather than individual results. The third is to increase membership homogeneity. The fourth is to increase interactions among members. Fifth is to decrease team size. Sixth is to introduce competition with other teams. And lastly is to provide physical isolation from other groups. Task and maintenance rules. A task activity is a team member's action that directly contributes to the team's performance purpose. A maintenance activity is an action taken by a team member that supports the emotional life of the group. Distributed leadership is when all team members contribute to helpful tasks and maintain behaviors. This is how distributed leadership helps teams meet task and maintenance needs. Now we will tackle different communication networks. First on the list is the decentralized communication network, which allows all members to communicate directly. Next is the centralized communication network that flows only between individual members and a hub or center point. Lastly, the restricted communication network, where subgroups have limited communication and a restricted communication network. This is the interaction patterns and communication networks in teams. Let's see how teams make decisions. Decision making is choosing alternative courses of action. It's important to note that decision making can vary in complexity and scope depending on the context. Some decisions are routine and relatively straightforward, while others are complex, strategic, and may have significant long term implications. Additionally, decision making may involve individuals making choices independently, or it can be a collaborative process where teams or groups work together to reach a consensus. Effective decision making often requires critical thinking, problem solving skills, effective communication, and clear understanding of objectives and priorities. How to achieve consensus in decision making. First, don't argue unthinkingly. Consider others' reaction to your points. Second, don't change your mind to reach a quick agreement. Third, avoid conflict reduction by voting, coin tossing, or bargaining. Fourth, keep everyone involved in the decision process. Fifth, allow disagreements to surface so that issues can be deliberately over. Six, don't focus on winning versus losing. Seek acceptable alternatives. Lastly, discuss assumptions. Listen carefully and encourage members' input. Decision making also has its advantages and disadvantages in a team. One of these is groupthink. Groupthink is a phenomenon where highly cohesive groups or teams may make poor decisions or fail to critically evaluate alternatives due to a desire for consensus and harmony within the group. It was first coined by psychologist Irving Janis in 1972 and has been studied extensively in group decision making. To mitigate the harmful effects of groupthink, teams can employ strategies such as encouraging open and honest communication, assigning a devil's advocate role to challenge prevailing opinions, seeking external input, and fostering a culture that values diversity of thought. These measures help teams make more informed and robust decisions while maintaining a sense of cohesion and collaboration. Here are the symptoms of groupthink. First is illusions on invulnerability, where members assume the team is too good for criticism or beyond attack. Next is rationalizing unpleasant and disconfirming data, where members refuse to accept contradictory data or to consider alternatives thoroughly. Third is relief in inherent group morality, where members act as though the group is inherently right and above reproach. Fourth is stereotyping competitors as weak, evil, and stupid, where members refuse to look realistically at other groups. Fifth, applying direct pressure on deviants to conform to group wishes, where members refuse to tolerate anyone who suggests the team may be wrong. Sixth is self-censorship by members, where members refuse to communicate personal concerns to the team. Seventh, illusions of unanimity, where members accept consensus prematurely without testing its completeness. Lastly is mind guarding, where members protect the team from hearing disturbing ideas or outside viewpoints. Now we have creativity in team decision making. These are two distinct methods used in group decision making and problem solving, each with its characteristic and purposes. Brainstorming is an informal and open process where team members freely and spontaneously generate ideas, solutions, or suggestions for a specific problem or topic. It fosters creativity by allowing participants to think outside the box and propose unconventional ideas without immediate evaluation or criticism. There are typically no strict rules in brainstorming sessions, and participants are encouraged to build upon each other's ideas. It leverages the group's and collective intelligence, gathering diverse perspectives and contributions. Brainstorming is effective for generating a wide range of opinions and possibilities quickly. The nominal group technique, or NGT, is a structured approach to group decision making where team members followed a defined process for discussing and evaluating process problems or ideas. Additionally, each team member independently generates ideas or solutions in writing, ensuring all members can contribute equally. After individual idea generation, team members share their ideas, one idea at a time, in a round robin fashion. Following sharing ideas, the group engage in a structured discussion to clarify, evaluate, and rank the proposed ideas based on predefined criteria. The group may use a voting system or aim to reach a consensus on the best ideas or solutions. NGT ensures that every member has an opportunity to contribute and that a few individuals do not dominate the discussion. It is beneficial for structured decision making processes where objective evaluation and ranking are needed. In summary, while brainstorming is an open and creative process for idea generation, the nominal group technique, or NGT, provides a structured framework for discussing, evaluating, and selecting the most promising ideas or solutions. The choice between these methods depends on the specific goals of the team and nature of the problem solving or decision making process.
Leading. So, leadership is one of those words that we hear and use all the time, but may really stop to think much about. In fact, leadership is a very complicated process that demands a great deal from leaders and followers alike, and requires a lot of background understanding and personal insight. So, leading is to communicate a vision, build enthusiasm, motivate commitment, and hard work. In engineering management, it refers to the function of an engineering manager that causes people to take effective action. After deciding what is worth doing, the engineering manager relies on communication and motivation to get people to act. There are five leading activities. It includes deciding, making decisions and judgments concerning priority, personnel, resources, policies, organizational structures, and strategic direction. Second one is communicating, creating understanding by sharing information with others and talking, meeting, or writing to others. Next one is motivating, inspiring, encouraging, or impelling others to take required action and creating workplace conditions to ensure work satisfaction. Next one is selecting people, choosing the correct employees for positions in the organization or for specific team activities. And last one is developing, to help employees improve their knowledge, attitudes, and skills. Leadership traits and behaviors. Drive. These successful leaders have high energy, display initiative, and are tenacious. Next one is self-confidence. Successful leaders trust themselves and have confidence in their abilities. Creativity. Successful leaders are creative and original in their thinking. Next one is cognitive ability. Leaders have the intelligence to integrate and interpret information. Flexibility. Leaders adapt to fit the needs of followers and the demands of situation. Honesty and integrity. Successful leaders are trustworthy, honest, predictable, and dependable. There are also classic leadership styles. These include autocratic leader. It acts in a command and control fashion. Human relations leader. It emphasizes people over task. Laissez-faire leader has a do the best you can and don't bother me attitude. And the last one is democratic leader. It emphasizes both task and people. Contingency approaches to leadership. First model is all about Fiedler's contingency mode. There are two styles of this Fiedler's contingency mode. First one is task-motivated style. This leader will be most successful in either favorable high-control situations or unfavorable low-control situation. Relationship style or relationship-motivated style. This leader will be most successful in moderate control situations. The second model is all about Hersey-Blanchard situational leadership model. In contrast to Fiedler's notion that leadership style is hard to change, the Hersey-Blanchard situational leadership model suggests that the successful leaders do adjust their styles, which includes delegating, allowing the group to take responsibility for task decision, a low task, low relationship style, participating, emphasizing shared ideas and participative decision and task decisions, or in task directions, a low task, high relationship style. Selling, explaining task direction in a supportive and persuasive way, a high task, high relationship style. Telling, giving specific task direction and closely supervising work, a high task, a low relationship style. So Hersey and Blanchard also believe that the leadership style should be adjusted as followers change over time. Last model is all about House's path goal leadership theory. House's path goal theory suggests that the key task of any leader is to add value to a situation. So there are four leadership style in House path goal theory. So first one is directive leader. Let other knows what is expected, gives directions, maintain standards. Supportive leader makes work more pleasant, treats other as equals, acts friendly and show concern. Achievement oriented leader. It sets challenging goals, expect high performance and show confidence. Participative leader involve other in decision making, ask for uses suggestion. So let us proceed about the personal leadership development. No one answer to what makes a particular person say you are an effective leader, and there is always room to grow. Personal leadership development is best viewed as a goal or you are more likely to reach if you know the key leadership concept and scholarly models. But success in personal leadership development also requires a lot of self-awareness and commitment to continuous learning as you move from one practical experience to next. So here are the essential to leadership. First one is charismatic and transformational leadership. Charismatic leader inspires followers in extraordinary ways, while transformational leadership is inspiring and arouses extraordinary effort and performance. Next one is all about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence shows up in research as an important influence on leadership success, particularly in more senior management positions, is the ability to manage our emotions in social relationship. Next one is about gender and leadership moral leadership. Holds that males and females have similar psychological properties. And the last one is Drucker's good old-fashioned leadership. Drucker believed that the basic building block for success as a leader is defining and establishing a sense of mission. As Drucker put in, The leader's first task is to trumpet that sounds a clear sound. Drucker also believed that leadership should be accepted as a responsibility rather than a rank.
Engineering management involves the critical tasks of ensuring that projects and processes stay on track, effectively guiding performance within towards specific engineering objectives, and actively managing, overseeing, and fine-tuning performance within the engineering management. Importance. In engineering management, the implementation of effective control mechanisms is paramount. These controls play a pivotal role in steering projects and operations toward their intended objectives with utmost efficiency and success. Moreover, by employing adequate control measures, the adverse impacts of deviations, errors, and deficiencies are significantly mitigated, ensuring the smooth and reliable execution of engineering endeavors. Steps in the control process. So, firstly, establishing performance objectives and standards. This step sets clear performance goals and standards. Next is measuring actual performance. It involves collecting data to assess current performance. Next is comparing actual performance to objectives and standards. This step identifies gaps or deviations for attention. And lastly, taking necessary action based on the results of comparisons. In response to discrepancies, corrective measures are implemented. Types of control. Firstly, feed forward control. This type of control is proactive, focusing on anticipating issues and taking preventive actions before problems arise. Next is concurrent control. Concurrent control occurs during ongoing operations involving real-time activities to detect and address any variances or deviations as they happen. Next is feedback control. After a task or activity is completed, feedback control involves gathering information for evaluation and subsequent improvements, making it a reflective and corrective form of control. Components of organization control system. Firstly, strategic plan. It serves as the guiding document for an organization outlining its long-term goals and strategies. Long-range financial plan. This financial blueprint charts the organization's financial course over an extended period, aligning resources with future objectives. Next is operating budget. It details day-to-day financial allocations, ensuring expenditures match the organization's financial objectives. Performance appraisals. These evaluations gauge employee performance against set standards, aiding in personnel management and growth. Statistical reports. These reports provide data-driven insights into operations, aiding decision-making through quantitative information. Policies and procedures. Organizational policies and procedures establish guidelines and rules to maintain consistency and compliance with objectives and standards. Identifying controlling problems. Firstly, is executive reality check. This method involves senior executives periodically assessing the organization's performance and alignment with strategic objectives to spot potential control issues. Next is comprehensive internal audit. A comprehensive internal audit is a thorough examination of an organization's processes and systems to identify control problems and areas requiring improvement. Lastly, general checklist of symptoms of inadequate control. This checklist helps pinpoint control problems by highlighting common signs and symptoms of inadequate control within the organization. That's it. Thank you.